Hey Posse, what's up? It's Alex. Welcome back to another tutorial where I'll teach you everything I know about copywriting, marketing, and sales. Of course, not everything I know, this is just one video, but if you're new to the crew, you're definitely gonna wanna hit that subscribe button below because right here on my channel, you'll find hundreds of videos to help you master the world of online marketing. So just go ahead and hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss out on any more tutorials and hit that bell to be notified when my next video goes live. Now, it goes without saying that copywriting, or really any marketing role, can be a high-stress job. I mean, think about it, right? Businesses hire you to make them money. They are trusting you with the success of their business, hiring you and trusting you, of course, to write words that don't just sound good, but also bring in serious sales and mad conversions. So what happens when you write a sales page or an email sequence or a Facebook ad for a client and your copy flops and conversions are low or maybe just non-existent? Well, first of all, don't panic. This happens to all of us from time to time. Trust me, the best copywriters in the world are the best in the world because they have failed more than anyone else. They've learned what doesn't work more than anyone else. So I know it can feel like the end of the world when you write something you think is so great and then it just doesn't perform well. But listen, no one can get it right all of the time. It's impossible. Sometimes you'll write a winning sales page that brings in record-breaking conversions, and other times you might just write something that is okay, and other times you'll write something that falls flat. And when that happens, it's important that you don't panic and run for the hills. Instead, view the situation for what it is, a massive learning opportunity. I know, but hear me out. This is an opportunity for you to grow and get better at what you do. Every single time I've written something that didn't convert well, yes, it has happened to me many times, I always use that failure as sort of a research project. I treat it like the experiment it is, and I put on my scientist hat. Do scientists wear hats? Either way, I think to myself, that's interesting, that did not work. Why? Then I always go through what I've written with a fine-tooth comb, I put on my copy editor hat, and I reference my hot offer checklist. These are the 10 conversion triggers that are proven to build trust, boost authority, and ignite sales, and I have a free copy waiting for you at the end of this video, so keep watching. Now, what I have found over the years that when an offer doesn't convert, it's almost always because they are missing one or more of these 10 core components, but more specifically, they're almost always failing to do one of these things correctly. Can you guess which one it is? I'll reveal that at the end of this video, but first, let's quickly run through all 10 components of the checklist because they are all necessary if you want to maximize conversions. All right, so the first is problem. Put quite simply, you must address the problem your prospect is aiming to solve. You want to properly identify the single greatest challenge or core issue that your product or service can ultimately help them with. Number 2, pain. So next up, you really want to address that pain and how they are feeling. So this takes the problem to the next level. Here you're really asking, what is my audience really experiencing as a result of the problem? You want them to know that you understand what they're going through, that they're not alone, and of course that you are here to help. Number 3, prescription. So this is where you let your prospect know that they don't have to suffer with their pain or problem any longer. There is a solution, a secret, or discovery for what they are experiencing. And no, this does not mean that you introduce your product right away. Not yet. First, you want to move on to number 4, the pivot. So up until this point, your sales page is really talking all about your customer, right? Your prospect. But here is when you want to briefly pivot away from talking about them to talking about you or the brand or business you're writing for. So you'll want to communicate the mission, the reason, or inspiration for selling and creating that solution. This is a really powerful way to create authority and of course build trust. Then next up, number 5, positioning. Yes, we still haven't gotten to the product yet. Before you introduce your product or service, you need to address the reasons why alternate solutions haven't worked or won't work for your prospect. Show them how and why you are different from your competitors, which leads me to number 6, finally, the product and your product USP. So this is where you present your product as the solution to their problem. So after you've demonstrated what makes you and your solution different from the competition, you can transition into the description of your offer, making sure a USP or unique selling proposition is clearly communicated. And then number 7, this is where you go into the product details. So here you want to break down all of the need to knows and nice to haves about your product or service, listing out all those features, aka what your offer includes and all the things it has or does, plus the benefits, which is why someone should buy, or the results they can expect to receive. Then moving on to number 8, price. Okay, now you obviously need to state what your price point is. Now, the number one most important thing to remember about your pricing is that the value communicated should always be greater than the price. And that doesn't mean what you feel the value of your product is, or else you might be like, it's $1 million, but what your ideal prospect might likely pay to get that solution somewhere else. So of course, the greater the value price gap, the more irresistible your offer. All right, now moving on to number 9, the promotion. So this is essentially the scarcity you're using to get your customers to buy right now rather than later. So in marketing, scarcity is the principle of making products or services seem limited in some way and therefore harder to obtain. And of course, FOMO really works. We all want what we can't have. There are 4 different types of scarcity, right? Price scarcity, quantity scarcity, premium scarcity, and offer scarcity. And if you want to learn more about those, I will link to a video at the end of this video that you can watch next. Now, the key with using scarcity is to always include a reason why. And of course, make sure it's real, people, please. Fake scarcity is just not cool. So why is the offer limited? Why is the price going up? Make sure to include a reason why, and it's more likely to fly. All right, and lastly, let's move to number 10 on my list, which is place and purchase details. So this is where you eliminate the number 1 conversion killer, confusion. You want your prospects to know exactly what to do next and what will happen next. So that means you want to share any guarantees, any payment terms, any purchase expectations, right? They should be written in really clear, concise language to make it as easy as possible for your reader or viewer to understand. You want the process to feel easy, breezy, and risk-free. Now, all 10 of these components are necessary for maximizing your conversions, and you will find them all inside my hot offer checklist, which I'll give to you in just a second. But I see one of these 10 components people get very, very wrong. And in most cases, it is the single biggest thing that is killing their conversions. Can you guess which one it is? It is number 2, pain, or more specifically, empathy, right? The flip side of pain is empathy. One of the most important aspects of a successful sales page is being able to really put yourself in the shoes of your customers and get to the core of the biggest problem and immediately felt needs and feelings they have. Immediately felt being the key words here. You really want to put into words the ripple effect of emotions and challenges and obstacles that their core problem is really causing. Put simply, you got to put yourself in their shoes to really try to understand how this problem is affecting their daily lives. So as an example, let's say their biggest problem is having trouble sleeping. As a copywriter, your next step is to go deeper into that problem and really figure out how this is really affecting their life. So you might focus on that double shot of espresso they rely on every single morning, even though it leaves them feeling anxious and foggy and groggy, or the disappointment in their children's eyes when they reply that they're just too tired to play with them tonight. Or how about the number of close calls they've had on the highway while they're driving home on that monotonous commute from work? Or the physical and mental health problems that have suddenly appeared thanks to sleep deprivation. Basically, you want them to know that you really do understand what they're going through and what they're experiencing on a daily basis, that they're not alone, and that you are absolutely here to help. When you're able to relate to your customers' real and actual problems and pain points on a really deep level, you'll almost always be able to sell them your product, assuming your product is actually good and will actually help them, right? But you really want to showcase that empathy as much as possible. So the next time you write something that doesn't convert, number 1, don't panic. Number 2, review my hot offer checklist. And number 3, focus on the real problems your customer is facing and remember to communicate with empathy. All right, I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to snag your free copy of my hot offer checklist. You can get that in just a second. And until next time, I'm Alex. Ciao for now. All right, guys, if you enjoyed that video, make sure to check out the next one from me right here. And you can click right here to get a free gift. Hey guys, it's Alex. In this video, I'm going to talk about one of the key components of a compelling sales offer: scarcity.